talk didn't have a name, and I just referred to it as The Talk. It was more than 5 years after that first presentation before I began calling my talk The Four Doors. I like the metaphor of the door for two reasons. First, because passing through a door requires knowledge, intent, and action. We can't pass through a door we can't find, and we can't pass through a door without moving ourselves. Second, once we've crossed a door's threshold, we are not in the same place as we were before. These characteristics are the Great Wall of China, even the atomic bomb. Each began as an idea in one mind. These ideas, once shared, interacted with others' ideas, which set off a chain reaction that grew in force until they were of sufficient energy to create massive physical change. Just as important as the physical manifestations that new ideas can spark are the permanent internal changes that take place within our own minds. Oliver Wendell Holmes, 2 U.S. presidents and a British prime minister. Then I looked out over the audience of thousands and said, Mrs. Bush, I would be remiss to let this moment pass. When I was 12 years old, I was told that someday I would walk with the royalty of this earth. Tonight you see the fulfillment of a promise to a small boy. Shakespeare wrote, "There's a divinity that shapes our ends." My personal belief in a divine life mission has brought me hope only like mysteries printed in books. But only in mystery do we find the excitement and awe of discovery. Only in mystery can we truly experience life. Even love itself is a foray into mystery. As you contemplate your life, always remember that there is another room in the restaurant reserved for those not afraid to try something different. In the end, opening ourselves up to the unknown is less painful than resigning ourselves come from the victimhood mentality. First, as demonstrated by the young man who locked himself in his bedroom, embracing victimhood takes away our freedom of self-determination by giving control of our lives to some other person or external circumstance or event. Let me be clear. I'm not saying that you're not a victim or haven't been wronged. Everyone who has walked the planet has, in some way, been wronged. As such, the question to ask ourselves is, identify the exact offense, when it took place, and how many times you've punished yourself for the error. You may have to estimate. The number may be in the hundreds or thousands. Then say to yourself, I know that I did wrong, but I've already paid for my mistake. Punishing myself over and over for what I've already suffered is unjust to me and God. I hereby finally forgive myself and let it go forever. So the chairman and CEO of IBM said, would you like me to give you a formula for success? It's quite simple, really. Double your rate of failure. You are thinking of failure as the enemy of success, but it isn't at all. You can be discouraged by failure, or you can learn from it. So go ahead and make mistakes. Make all you can, because remember, that's where you will find success. Scottish author Samuel Smiles said, it is a mistake to suppose that man succeeds through sat down between two best-selling authors. Someone noticed. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw one of the show personnel making a beeline toward me. When she got to my side, I looked up and said, sorry, I'm late. The woman just stared at me for a moment, then said, may I get you some water? That would be great, I said. I sat there for the rest of the session handing out my little book to hundreds of booksellers. The next year, my book was a New York Times, The Work of Love. What the fourth door proposes is an act of will, an intellectual and spiritual decision to recreate our mental maps on the basis of love. And as I've described, this holy love is not a hole to fall into. It's a plant to be cultivated, nourished, and ultimately harvested. It is work.